Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we are diving into some really fascinating research that completely dismantles a massive myth about money. It's so easy to just assume that building true wealth requires extreme luck, perfect timing, or this massive six-figure salary. But when you actually look at the data on how financially free people behave, it reveals something completely different. It turns out getting rich isn't about looking rich, it's about the compounding effect of intentional daily habits. So today we're going to explore the architecture of wealth by unpacking 10 specific, highly effective habits. Here's our roadmap for today. First, investing in your foundation. Second, goals and gratitude. Third, mastering your money moves. And finally, the power of consistency. Let's get right into it. All right, section 1. Investing in your foundation. Look, we hear it all the time, right? Save your money. And yeah, saving is undeniably important. But mathematically speaking, there's a strict limit to how much you can actually cut from a budget. On the flip side, there's practically zero limit to how much you can earn. Your earning potential grows in direct proportion to the value you bring to the marketplace. That is exactly why one of the most powerful habits of the wealthy is constantly investing in high-income skills, things like writing, coding, or artificial intelligence. For instance, just learning basic AI prompting or some rudimentary coding can drastically increase your market value in a matter of months. Dedicating just a few hours a week to leveling up a skill is a phenomenal investment. Because honestly, the best asset isn't always the stock market. Sometimes it's you. And speaking of foundational investments, it's really eye-opening to reframe how we view our physical bodies. I know it might sound kind of unrelated to finance, but protecting your health is actually one of the smartest financial habits out there. Think about it. The costs of poor health are incredibly draining. You've got medical bills, lost workdays, lower productivity. Conversely, the costs of healthy habits, like walking, cooking nutritious meals, or just getting enough sleep, are remarkably low. In fact, they're often totally free. It's an amazing realization when you start treating a gym membership or healthy groceries as an income-protecting asset rather than just an expense. It completely shifts your financial trajectory. Moving right along, we really have to talk about our environment, because our financial habits are totally organically shaped by the people around us. We all know that one friend who always manages to convince the group to split the ridiculously expensive appetizers, right? The truth is, if you are constantly around people who encourage spending, you are going to spend more. But if you intentionally expose yourself to better financial influences, like reading books by successful people or tuning into educational explainers just like this one, you naturally start thinking about building wealth. You've got to surround your mind with ideas that actually move you forward. Moving on to section 2, goals and gratitude. Imagine just hopping into your car and driving with absolutely zero idea of where you're going. You'd waste a ton of time, fuel, and energy. Well, managing money without clear goals is surprisingly similar. The research highlights the power of asking yourself specific questions, like how much do I actually want in my emergency fund? How much do I want invested by age 40? How much passive income do I need each month? Setting clear goals leads to clear decisions, and suddenly, every single dollar you earn has a dedicated purpose.
Now, while setting goals is absolutely crucial, it's just as important to protect that mindset from all the external noise. Let's be real, the algorithm definitely knows exactly when you're vulnerable to a targeted ad for something you don't really need. Advertising is quite literally designed to create dissatisfaction and drive unnecessary spending by making us feel like we're missing out on something. But practicing gratitude, that is a super powerful countermeasure. Pausing to appreciate what you already have often reveals that it's already enough. Contentment is not the enemy of ambition, it's the enemy of unnecessary spending, which is ultimately the enemy of wealth.
All right, section 3, mastering your money moves. This brings us to a really fantastic tactical move, the sleep on it rule. The idea is super simple. The bigger the purchase, the longer you should wait. When you feel the urge to buy a massive new TV, a luxury watch, or a car, just wait at least 1 week. It is incredibly relatable how those intense 2 a.m. Amazon cart urges can just completely vanish by the time you wake up the next morning. Emotions fade, but logic stays. Practicing a little patience is a proven way to save thousands of dollars on things that feel super exciting in the moment, but are entirely unnecessary a few days later. Next up, let's talk credit cards. They are incredibly powerful tools, but carrying a balance every month means the interest you pay can quickly completely erase your financial progress. The simple advice here is to make your credit card work for you by treating it exactly like cash. If you only buy what you can afford to pay off in full and you pay that entire balance before the due date, you're able to build a strong credit history and earn rewards without ever falling into the debt trap. To really accelerate the process, diversifying your income is key. Relying on just a single paycheck is actually incredibly risky. An unexpected setback can instantly create massive financial stress. But diversifying through freelancing,
Dividend investing, an online business, or maybe rental income removes that massive risk. And it doesn't have to be intimidating. Starting with something as simple as a small digital product or a single dividend stock is enough to get the ball rolling. Extra income streams ultimately provide phenomenal financial security and options.
All these tactical moves really boil down to a core mindset shift. It's the difference between asking, "What can I buy today?" versus, "What will this money become if I invest it?" Now, practicing delayed gratification is undeniably difficult in a world built for instant rewards, but it really helps to frame it as a shift in perspective toward your future self. Every dollar is a choice between temporary pleasure right now and future freedom later. It doesn't mean you can never enjoy life. It just means making thoughtful choices that benefit both the present you and the future you.
And that brings us to Section 4, the power of consistency.
Building wealth rarely comes down to one single perfect financial decision. It's truly all about the compound effect, making hundreds of simple, good decisions over many years. Things like saving and investing monthly, learning weekly, and living below your means. It is actually shocking to discover the math behind this. For example, consistently investing just $100 a month starting early can vastly outpace someone trying to save a massive lump sum much later in life. Repeating small, disciplined actions creates extraordinary results as they compound over time.
This leads to a really empowering realization found in the research. Eventually, outsiders might look at a financially successful person and just call them lucky, assuming they had perfect timing or whatever. But the underlying truth is almost always relentless, quiet consistency. It's about making smart decisions day in and day out, even when nobody is watching. It's a great reminder that almost everyone starts somewhere, and they reach their goals by simply letting their habits work for them, day after day.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Where could your finances be in 1 year, in 5 years, or in 10 years if you started practicing just 5 of these habits today? That is the absolute true power of consistency. Money grows, knowledge grows, confidence grows, and eventually, wealth follows. Don't wait around for luck. Take action today, pick your habits, and let them start compounding. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.